I'd like to say good night, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here. And I'm here because I didn't find too much comfort in knowing that it was time to go to sleep tonight, with on my mind the number of people that's suffering in our country and all over the globe, where human beings are suffering. Creatures made by God. It tears me up when I see a coyote or fighting or trying to eat a tiger or alligator, trying to eat the elephant. I mean, doesn't touch me like it does when I see a human. But when I see a human doing the same things to other humans that animals do to one another, it really takes me aback. And I'd be wanting to say that later to you, ladies and gentlemen, how can you do that? If you got cable and you can turn your cable TV on any time during the day, and I guarantee you can find 10, 15, 20 different churches on, and they are mega churches. They got the big congregations, and most of them are white. They represent white supremacy. They represent superiority. They represent money and everything else that they represent. But as I look at these numbers of people, I'm wondering, is this a constant or is this rerun of a good time they had when the crowd was just mega and now they just keep spinning it, spinning it. But I'm not certain whether they do or not. I do know that the information that my eyes tell me is that there are many, many, many people out there listening to. Some people tell them about God. And you know, it just tears me up. I'm going to tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. It hurts me. It tears me up. Every time I see white preachers on TV talking to people about God, every time, I don't care who you are, when I hear a white person on television talking to other people, majorly white people, about God, it offends me. It offends me because, to me, based upon what I have experienced in this country for the old past 70 some odd years, and what those before me had to experience while this talking and this preaching stuff was still going on, it informs me that it's all a waste of time. I don't know why you're doing it. I do know what you get out of it. Many of you get money out of it. Many of you get the idea that you're socializing with a group, that y'all got something going on depending upon your number. But when I look at your evidence, you're just as backward as the people who never go to church. In fact, you're worse because you're trying to pimp God. You're trying to trick God like you got something with God, for God. And some of you sit back and laugh, talk about how God is blessing you. And you're trying to get other people who are not being blessed as you are to listen to God as you deliver God, and they will be blessed too. And you know it's a lie. You can tell everybody in your congregation that God is God and Jesus was his son and Jesus walked on water, and by the power and faith of Jesus Christ that you claim that you have, get up and walk on water. Yeah, I guarantee you, every last one of them that get up to walk on water, their feet will sink to whatever's under the water because they're not going to walk on water. Why? Because you don't know what you're talking about. That's why they wouldn't walk on water. And everything that you're telling them, it might benefit them, but it's not benefiting God. You see, the thing with God is that we as people are supposed to care for one another. We don't supposed to be hurting one another. And because we do that, we don't even know how to protect one another. Look at what just happened in Afghanistan the other day. They tell me that it was an earthquake or something. And there were all kinds of devastation, signs of devastation that maybe war didn't even bring. I don't know. But it's there. I even saw something they were talking about China, I believe. Was it China or Japan? I think it was China. And they had in the streets, you know, in America, you got your system uh, where your water comes up under the earth, down your streets in pipes, and how that pressure can get so big sometimes the water so heavy that it blow those steel caps. I'm not calling it right. I don't know. I don't know the name of them. But you know what I'm talking about. It just fly off the top, water running everything. And they were talking about just like people who water their flower, water their lawn, the water just come up. That's the way the streets were in China. Water just coming up. And you know there's going to be a flood. And it's nothing new because floods happen everywhere. Why haven't we taken time to prepare ourselves so when those floods come, they will not affect the people? We haven't dealt with that because we're so busy trying to rip other folks off our own good. Do you know in the world today there are people who are suffering immensely? Some of them are what some white folks call living in shithole countries. That means that they're suffering. That means that they haven't gotten a chance to develop. That means that they're existing out there as a duty for somebody who's touched by the Spirit of God, who's touched with love, to come and shower some love on these people by teaching them the will of God. But it never happens. Why? Because anytime somebody comes to you over there, they're not trying to teach you the will of God. They're trying to exploit you. They're trying to tell you something to take advantage of you. That's the way of the world. And it bothers me. It bothers me because I know that it doesn't have to be. And yet, there's nothing that I can do to force it. The only thing I can do is tell you and walk according to the things that I tell you. That's the only thing I can do. But whether the changes will come, it's not going to be God's going to work some magic. If God's going to work some magic, it's going to be the floods. If God's going to work some magic, it's going to be the thunderstorms. If God's going to work some magic, it's going to be the tsunamis. If God is going to work some magic, it's going to be hurricanes. If God is going to work some magic, it's going to be earth just dropping out of the off the earth. That if God's going to work some magic. And if we don't want God to work that magic, then we got to work the magic. We got to come together. And it's a crying shame that white people don't like black people. Ain't that something? God made these white people, and they don't like black people. Many of them put up with black people. They don't like them. Many black people don't like white people. Not as many as whites. But blacks are pissed off because of what white folks have done to them. Why are white folks pissed off with black people? I mean, tell me, is it because somebody said they are the original people? Is it because they said that they are the first? Is it because they said black people are so fantastic with the ability to do extraordinary things? Is this what frightens them? Is it the thing that frightens them is that AI said if they had to come back at God, they would want to come back hanging with the black people? Is this what troubles them? I mean, they tell me they don't have to try to be threatened by a better thing. Join the team. Learn and work things out together. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. When I look at and think, what is it that's going to be instrumental in causing not just America to get on a good foot, but to cause the human race to get on a good foot? Well, it's going to be pain. It's going to be suffering. It's not going to be that you can tell a person that do this and your life is going to be miraculous. They'll never do it. You tell them to do this, they're going to be messed up. They'll do that. I want to say to all of the people of the earth, all of us have been deceived. I think about when I go to these big department stores like Target, Lowe's, Sam's Club, Walmart. You know, you walk in these big stores, they got everything. When you walk to the door, they just want you to see what you can get some money. Get some money, you can get this. And in certain parts of the store, they got diamonds, rings, watches, necklaces, and all of this stuff that at least women get. They go crazy. Let me have some of this diamond. I think every human being on earth should have some diamonds. Why? Because it means something to them. If it's a ring, if it's a necklace, if it's an earring, if it's break or locket, whatever. I think if you want some jewelry, you should have some jewelry. Why do I think this? Because that's what it's for. And another thing, there should be nothing that would prevent you from having access to the things that are made by the hands of man, except your lack of desire to have it. Let it be because you don't want it. If you want it, it's there for you. And everybody's making sure that they keep doing their thing so to make uh, that there's constant abundance there. So you don't have to be denied. But if you don't want it, you don't have to get it. Nobody cares. So what I'm saying to the people in these churches, why are you still talking about God, Jesus, and Peter and Paul? And why are you still talking about those guys? I mean, how many of you, when your parents, when your relatives come to visit, how many of you go back and just talk about your father's history? How many of you sit around the table eating, talking about your father's history, the stuff that's farthest away from you? How many of you sit around and talk about that? None of you. Why? Because it has had its day. It has done what it has done, and it has brought you to this point to do right here, right now, what is required, what is needed to be done to fix a situation that we find ourselves in. Talking what, well, Paul said, look, if you talk about God, you tell us what God told you. Don't come tell me what Paul said. Don't come and tell me what King James says, Paul said, and Paul said somebody. I don't hear any of that. I mean, it has its place, but right now we ain't got time to be listening to that. We got to listen to what fixed our world today. We got to talk about what fixed us as individuals that prepare us to be better at whatever it is required for us to do. That's what we need to be focusing on. Focus on how everybody can have a job. I think God would be loving that. You talk about, well, God, you don't know where God comes from. So don't spend any time trying to figure it out. But you do know the benefit of having a job. You know that if you got a job, you're entitled to life. You got a job, you're entitled to food. You got a job, you're entitled to clothing. You got a job, you're entitled to did I say housing? You're entitled to housing. If you got a job, you're entitled to education. You got a job, you're entitled to health care. You got a job, you're entitled to transportation. You got a job, they say whatever money you got, that's what you can do. And if you got the money, you can do anything. But what if you can do anything because you got the truth? And the truth doesn't come with money. The truth comes with being familiar and not deceived. So my job to you is to tell you that when you're looking at money, that's all you've ever heard. I mean, before then they use other stuff, but in our lifetime, all we know is money, and we know what people go through to get it. Your fake president of the United States talk about one thing: money, lying to you about tariffs, telling you you're gonna be so rich, you just gonna be so rich. Now, what you gonna do with all those so rich? What you gonna do with all those so rich? When you bought and purchased everything you want and you got so rich, money just as useless as a piece of trash because you got anything you want. And the rest of the people going through the same change they've been going through all the time because some people are believing in money. Get the money. Get the money. And when they got the money, you got the pain. And where's God? He's nowhere around there. And the people, you, who suffering the most, you are the ones that's supposed to hear the message the easiest. Why? Because God has been whipped away from you. And you know that ain't nobody gonna free you but God. Gonna give you peace and prosperity and joy and happiness and allow you to live your dream. Not I, but God. The only specific thing about this is that God will be living in people, and people will have the evidence of God living in them because they will treat you like they want to be treated. They're going to treat you like God is your gift and it's coming from them, through them. That's when things are going to change. But no, tomorrow, you won't pick up any of my videos on anything. If you run across one, you might stop on it for a minute to see what was being said. But for the most part, All they're going to talk about tomorrow is the jive. You're going to talk about the liars who are in government. You're going to talk about the crooks that's in the attorney general's office. You're going to talk about BS that's in the justice department. You're going to talk about the pain and suffering that's in homelessness, you in lack of education, lack of health care. You're going to talk about all of that. You're going to talk about just what that boy name, Jeffstein, not Jeffstein. What's his name? Je- well, you know who I'm talking about. You're going to talk about that. You're going to talk about that lady. You're going to try not to talk about those victims. You're going to try not to talk about, but they're out there and they're going to be talking for themselves. But when you talk about peace, no. When you talk about compassion, no. When you talk about empathy for one another, no. Why? Because basically the people are demonic. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know you love for people to talk positive. You love for people to lie to you. Just like the president, I think he's going to go to the Smithsonian and all the stuff that he as a racist, he as a white supremacist doesn't want the rest of the world to know about him. He's going to try to get a group of them to go through there and wipe all that out, burn it out. So the next generation to come would think that America was great. America has no sin to be bragging about. America was fantastic. But all of that stank dragging her butt straight to hell. And you will go along with it. Every last one of you should have told Donald Trump to sit his ass down. But you're not. Why? Because you are funky, just like Donald Trump. You're no good, just like Donald Trump. I'm just going to tell you, you are no damn good. And you continue to live because God loves you in spite of your no damn good self. God still loves you. And He's still trying to give you opportunity to wake up. That's why you think, that's why I'm here. To give you an opportunity to wake up. I ain't come here to stroke you, make you feel like, oh, well, I'm doing okay now. He didn't talk about me. I'm fine. No, you're not fine. You fucked up. All of us are. And until we can see us smiling and we can see us having a good time just because we're together, we will always be screwed. Now, no, you don't like what I just said. You don't have to listen to the video anymore. I just wanted to tell you, and I have. The next time, goodbye.